Hi everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Xclusive Leadership Podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled to be sitting across someone whose career journey spans over various industries, from semiconductor to fintech and now to software solutions. Today, we are in conversation with Mr. Ashish Chattoraj, Chief People Officer of Tally Solutions. He's someone who has not only shaped HR strategies across sectors, but also led through transformations like mergers, ramp ups, and large scale integrations. Sir, it's an absolutely pleasure to have you on campus and on show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's my honor to be here.
So let me start from the very beginning. Your journey from XISS Ranchi to the C suite is quite inspiring. So, sir, let me start with your some questions. So, how did your early career in HR unfold, and what drew you to this function in the first place?
I think during those days, career was not as much as planned. I think used to happen, but the beauty of when it happens is you start falling in love with the process. So to me, it was very similar. While I did not really would plan to be in HR, but as I got into various roles of HR, I really started falling in love with the role that HR plays in terms of really adding value and difference to the life of not only the people, but also creating great organization, great cultures, and legacy. And I think that's what drew me slowly and more powerfully into the field.
That's great, sir. So you have worked across such varied industries. How did these transitions shape your view of people and leadership?
While the industry changes, while the situation changes, but I think somewhere the human aspect is pretty much constant in terms of what people want, and as a leader, what are you supposed to provide? I think the biggest thing that you need to provide as a leader is a sense of purpose, complete clarity that where are you heading for, very clear communication and a transparent communication with your team across, and a very strong sense of values and integrity that you always uphold, irrespective of what the situation is. While the industries could have been different, situations could have been very different, but I think what always mattered were these few things, which I always saw made a difference.
Absolutely agree with you, sir. So, was there a defining moment in your journey that helped crystallize your people philosophy?
Oh yeah, I think while there have been many, I think one that always strikes me is when I joined as a management trainee way back 20 years back. I was an HR management trainee, and as normal HR management trainee would expect that they would get into the corporate office, learn, make some policies, drive some programs. But it was very different. So I still remember the evening after induction when my CHRO at that point of time, he gave me a slip and he said, Ashish, tomorrow, you are going to travel to a very interior town of South India, and you are going to do the sales over there for 3 months. And it was shocking to start with that, hey, I've not done that. How I'm going to do that? I'm unaware of the land, I'm unaware of the scope, and I'm unaware of many things. But I think those 3 months were super exciting, because managing uncertainty, you cannot do HR if you don't understand business to start with. You cannot relate to something which you have not done yourself. So I think that was a defining moment, and then was another, I think another sprint after that, which was I was in a plant and I had to actually manage the night shift, be with the workmen, see how they operate. So the plant was working properly, and there was no production loss. And again, I think more than what policies and books could teach you, what it taught me is the strata of people who come over there and how easy or difficult for them is to man those machines, what goes in their mind. So finally, when I came back to the corporate office, I think I was a person who was much more mature to see world in somebody's else's eyes than my own eyes, and I think that's very important for an HR professional.
So, I agree with you. Like, you have shown a tremendous adaptability while working in your early years, right? That's great, sir. So, and it's clear that your experience across sectors adds a unique deep depth to your leadership. Now, I would like you to shed some light on how you translated that experience into purposeful HR strategy. So at Tally Solution, what does aligning HR with business priorities look like in action?
I think that's a great question. So Tally is a 40-year legacy organization,
Hmm.
but we call it, a 40-year-old startup. Because at every point of time, we are trying to build what is best for an entrepreneur in terms of the software experience that they have and change their behavior. Um, the HR sits, and Tally is an extremely value-driven organization and a purpose-driven organization, and HR sits very, very closely into the entire business strategy. Some of the things that we are working right now around the transformation is about building high performance culture for the organization. We are growing internationally into multiple places. Our offerings are increasing. So it also means about building internal capability, role mobility, and an overall a great culture of the organization, which allows people to explore and grow. I think that's exactly what HR sits in between midst of all of that.
That's great, sir. So, what's your take on how AI is changing the landscape of HR and people operations?
I think I'll take a step back. On one hand, there is of course this lot of literature, a lot of conversation, and I think a lot of high stake investments in AI. But what is AI? AI is basically is it allows you to more effectively, efficiently handle an operation with the machine synthesizing data and providing. AI is, whether you like it or you don't like it, AI is already there, and AI is going to play a very big role. It's playing already a very big role. I think each one of us. I think I spend more time in Chat GPT than WhatsApp today. So fundamentally, it's changing the behavior. But when you talk about the adoption of AI,
Hmm.
what is really important is the trust and the impact of what AI is going to bring in whatever areas you get AI into. HR operations is one of the areas wherein AI plays a big role in terms of providing easy accessibility to a lot of information to employees. You no longer need to reach an HR department for details. The bot can allow you
Hmm.
to help you with all of it. It eases a lot of the things around the onboarding journey when an employee joins. It's much more seamless. Technology is the interface. But I think the only thing that we should not forget in midst of all of it, that AI is for humans. So the human element should never be forgotten. So contextualization of human into AI is very, very important.
So you have already answered my next question. So while technology evolves fast, culture takes time and intention, right? Let's shift focus to one of the biggest levers in any organization. It's culture and leadership. So, in your view, what are the non-negotiables of a strong, scalable culture?
I think culture is what you see, feel, and hear. It's not something that's on the walls. So you have to feel the culture. Now you feel something when you see that happening, and that only happens when there is a very high level of integrity or values that the organization displays. So first, the organization has to be extremely value driven. Those values are dynamic, but they're not compromisable based on situations and times. I think that's the first part. Second, really important part is how do you involve everyone and include everyone in the journey by transparently communicating priorities that are important and purpose for which your organization is striving for. Purpose plays a very key part because when the purpose overtakes, the mission is accomplished. So the importance of purpose becomes very, very important. And I think the third really important aspect is the creating safe space to voice out different opinions, encourage debates, allow productive conflict, but then reach to a point that all of us are aligned. I think to me, these things make a lot of impact on the culture that you build.
Sir, I'm astonished by your answer.